Hi, I'm Antonio Centeno. I'm the founder of Real Men, Real Style. Today, gentlemen, I'm going to be answering the question, can whitening your teeth damage your teeth? This is a question I've been getting quite a bit, and it's something that is, I understand it. A few years back, I had never whitened my teeth, and I was asking the same exact questions. A lot of guys are wondering, the stuff that you put on there, is it going to get into the enamel? Is it somehow going to make it brittle? Is it going to make your teeth fall out? Here's the thing, is people have been whitening their teeth for a long time. We go back to the ancient Greeks, we go back to Renaissance Europeans, we go back to, just look through American history. It is something that people have prized white teeth. Why? Because it signals youth, it signals strength, it signals health. And because of that, it's something that people, for status, for reputation, realizing that people are attracted to that, they have tried and strived to have those type of white teeth, even going as so far as taking other people's teeth and putting them in their mouth. Yes, just go read some of these history reports out there. So how does that come to this? So I can tell you guys that you can avoid damaging your teeth if you simply, I'm going to give you 5 tips, and these tips are really going to minimize the risk. I do want to bring up really quick that it was White with Style that gave me all these props. All this right here, the solution, I went through and I tested it. It's a good company. It's a good product. I'll be giving you a code at the end of this video where you can take over and get this entire teeth whitening kit that you can use 10 times. It's going to be $28. So again, I'll talk about it at the end of the video, so stick around. Let me give you those 5 tips. So number 1 is you need to understand the basics of teeth whitening. So how does it work? So first off, let's look at teeth. As you age, your teeth will become less white. That's just the way it is. As a man, your teeth are naturally going to be less white than women's teeth. Children have the whitest teeth. Why? When we get down, actually, when we look at the tooth, we see the outside enamel. Then we see inside the tooth, we have the dentin. So the dentin is naturally darker colored. Children and children's teeth, it's naturally going to have a larger percentage of enamel. Once we get down into the dentin, men have the largest percentage. Therefore, as time goes on, as we wear and tear our teeth, they naturally start to become darker. In addition, the food we eat, coffee, tea, berries, all of these things are going to slightly color and stain our teeth. Now, when you're out there looking at solutions and you're looking at ways to do this, you're going to hear the number of, let's just say, peroxides. You're going to hear about CARBAMIDE, you're going to hear about hydrogen peroxide. All of these things, understand it's important that you focus in on the concentration and the percentage. You're going to see this anywhere from just a few percentage points in certain toothpaste to up to 45% in some of the higher concentrations, and maybe even a little bit higher if you go into your dentist's office. Understand, the higher percentage, the more careful you need to be. Lower percentages, you can actually leave that on for a while, and that takes me to point number 2. So you need to know what to expect when you are going through the teeth whitening process. Number 1, you can expect more sensitivity. Number 2, you can expect your gums to be to feel a little bit on the gums if you get that solution, that peroxide solution on your gums. Now, one thing you shouldn't expect and you shouldn't stand for is pain. If you experience pain, stop immediately. It's not worth it. But you can expect, okay, there's going to be maybe a little bit of sensitivity, especially if your teeth are already naturally sensitive. Point number 3 is understand the limitations of whitening your teeth. So first off, you need to go to a dentist. You need to get your teeth cleaned. If it has been years, understand whitening your teeth is not going to remove any of the plaque. Also understand that there is a whole scale on how white your teeth should be. So I talked about kids are going to have the closest to white, but even kids are not naturally going to have white teeth. With this scale, which, again, White with Style gave this one to me. It comes 9. I liked that they had this right in the kit, because looking at where you're at, they're going to say, okay, with one treatment for 30 minutes, you're going to basically go down 7 on this scale. So you can go ahead and do the quick numbers. And that's probably, I would say, best case scenario. If you have really dark teeth, you are going to see a big difference when you whiten your teeth for the first time. But as you get closer to white, or as you get closer to off-white, it's going to be harder and harder to make jumps. Your teeth don't need to be bright white. You don't need perfectly white teeth. You just want something that is close to the off-white. That's a natural state. That's going to be much better. Understand that that perfect white is not the end goal. Okay, so set those expectations. Point number 4, make sure to buy your teeth whitening product from a trusted resource. If you don't trust anybody, maybe your dentist, go to your dentist. It'll cost more. That's what you're paying for. The fact that they've got a whole system that they will do this for you, that they are taking on the liability. When you have a kit come to you, understand, yeah, you're putting things, you've got to follow directions, you're taking things into your own hands, but you're going to get oftentimes a much better deal. Look for a product that is ADA approved or AC approved. Okay, that's a joke. Antonio Centeno. The point is, if there's someone out there that you trust and you get a recommendation, that's probably a good bet. Again, I've used White with Style. I like their product. It's a good product. They sent me 2 kits. I used a kit about a month ago. I've used it twice since then. It's good stuff. I would have to say good to go for them. Point number 5, make sure you follow the directions. I know this sounds obvious, but so many people don't do this. And one thing I really did appreciate is White with Style gave me these very simple to follow directions. And I'll tell you where a lot of people are going to mess up. They're going to use too much of the solution. They are very clear. You can use this about 10 times. Don't use more than 1 milliliter of solution. Don't use more. You can use less. And in fact, if you use half a milliliter, you can probably get 20 applications, which you could use over the period of a year to 2 years. They talk about molding basically this part that's going to go in your mouth. So any guys that played football or sports, you're going to recognize this. You basically put this into very hot water. You mold it to your teeth. So that's part 1. What they also tell you, and I bet most people don't do, is you need to go through and you need to cut part of the guard off. Why do you want to do that? Well, because you don't want that fluid, you don't want that peroxide solution to go up onto your gums. That's going to cause the gums to be irritated, and you're going to be wasting the solution because it should be on your teeth. When it comes to the blue light, a lot of people don't use it. It's supposed to power up the peroxide and excite it a bit without actually damaging any of the dentin. If you have really sensitive teeth, you probably don't want to use this the first time. Maybe use it the second time and go a little bit longer between applications. But all of this stuff, it is explained right here in these charts. Those are my 5 tips. Hopefully you learned something. And if you want the kit, White with Style, let me see, it comes with the solution enough for 10. It comes with the blue light. Comes with these little Q-tips that have vitamin E. I actually didn't ever need to use these. It comes with the little chart and the directions. Everything here. It's $28. Use code RMRS28. I'm going to link you over to White with Style, and you'll be able to use it right there. And guys, I will see you in the next video. Take care.